Hello, you lovely ladies and you handsome gents. Thank you for visiting my channel again or for the first time. I'm Both Reviews Lady, and this channel, it's Talk to the Hand Reviews. Today, I want to talk about the classic of classics from the 80s. You know, I mean, there's plenty of classics since and before, but you will not deny that this fragrance is a classic. And you know what it is. And you know what it is. Giorgio Beverly Hills. Good old Giorgio. Such a beautiful fragrance. Giorgio Beverly Hills. I remember it so well. When I used to work behind the counter in fragrance and cosmetics in the 80s and 90s, late 80s and mid 90s, this fragrance was ubiquitous and everyone knew about it, and it was everywhere in every store, and so many people wore it and so many people loved it, and I always liked it. Back then I would say I didn't love it because I had so many other fragrances that I was, you know, given to wear and paid to wear, kind of, you know, because I worked for different fragrance companies and cosmetic companies, but I never worked directly for Giorgio. But we had it in a lot of the stores, of course, that I would, at one time when I worked for Revlon and I was a rotator rep, I used to go around to different stores, and of course all those stores carried Giorgio. And so I always did really like the fragrance, but it wasn't necessarily my favorite back then. But recently I was able to get this bottle, and I have to say it still smells incredible. It still smells as wonderful as it did back then. It smells to me like sunshine in a bottle. I mean, it's so happy, it's so cheerful, it's so bright. It's like the bright sun. It's like going to the beach on a gorgeous, perfect day, and the water is nice, and you get in and then you get out and you just feel like you have your best swimsuit on. You feel like you look great, and you're living your best life out there on the beach. It just, or you're shopping somewhere, or you're going out for lunch, you're having coffee, you're having happy hour with your friends at some restaurant, bar, whatever. This is a fragrance of a good time. I really feel like that. It's just a fragrance of a good time and happiness and just joy and just all the pleasant things there are in life. It's warm. It's, oh, you know, I did want to tell you some of my other thoughts on it. This fragrance is really, it has endured. And I want to tell you that, I'm not sure if I said this already, but it smells exactly the same as I remember it smelling in the 80s and 90s. I hadn't smelled it in all those years, you know. Fast forward, it's 2023 now. So it's been a long time since I spent any time with Giorgio, but now I'm spending a lot more time with it. And I do think that it, one of the things that they said, which was kind of funny, I thought, in Fragrantica, where I do a lot of my research. If you've never been to Fragrantica, it's this really good online website. It's called a fragrance magazine, but people put in their reviews about fragrances, and it's really interesting. And you can find out so much information about fragrances that you love and that you don't, maybe fragrances you don't love, but yeah, this one's fantastic. So what I remember, or what they said, sorry, at Fragrantica, was that it had to be banned from some establishments because it was too strong for people. And I can believe that. It is one of those fragrances, you spray it on. I know there are a lot of people out there in the fragrance community who advocate spraying and spraying and spraying and spraying and spraying a lot of fragrance on yourself. And I would say this is maybe not one to do that with. You just kind of want to go easy. You only need a couple sprays. It lasts on your skin. The fragrance on my skin, it stays the same. It doesn't really have a different dry down. It doesn't really change. Well, it becomes, I'll tell you what, in the first smells, what I get out of it, there is, okay, I can smell the orange blossom, the bergamot, the peach from in the beginning. It's more, but it's not a sweet fruity. But the fruit, the juice, the juiciness of those fruits is there. And then after I wear it for a few hours, the dry down, it stays mostly the same, but I'd say it does take on a little bit more of the floral attributes, the gardenia and the tuberose, which I love gardenia and tuberose, really. They're like some of my very favorite. But it doesn't smell like gardenia or tuberose. It doesn't smell like anything specifically, but it just smells really good and really happy. And well, there's a little bit of something like peppery in there too. It just smells juicy. It smells so good. So, by the way, Giorgio was launched in 1981, and the nose on this fragrance is a gentleman named Bob Aliano. He also created Hugo Create limited edition by Hugo Boss, and Giorgio Red, which is another great fragrance. I might end up Giorgio Red, I might end up getting that one as well and reviewing it, because that's another really nice fragrance. It was also super popular back in the day, as I recall, but I don't know if it got as big as Giorgio original, but it is another nice fragrance, Giorgio Red. And it's a little stronger, a little spicier, a little more warm, but still really wearable. If people who can't really handle stronger fragrances, it's actually a stronger one that I can handle. And that's saying something for me, because I can't handle strong fragrances like I used to. But I know you want to know. Oh, we haven't had a dance break yet. By the way, how are you? Are you doing good? Are you having a good week? Are you having a good day? I hope so. Okay, but I know that you want to know, and I want you to know, what's it smell like? Okay, and according to Fragrantica, the Fragrantica readers, which is where I get this information from, 53 people felt it smelled like Revlon Charlie Red. Revlon Charlie Red. Okay, I've never actually smelled that. Have you smelled it? Have you tried it? Do you know what it's like? You can leave a comment down below about anything that I have to say here if you like. And even if you hate these fragrances, I actually like when people comment, even if they don't like fragrances, because a lot of times what they say is really funny. There's like a lot of comedic element. There was something that I reviewed, and somebody responded that they thought it smelled like it reminded them of what a vampire from Twilight would smell like. And I thought that was really funny, and I love it when people leave comments like that, because it's funny, you know. I mean, what are we here for? We're here to learn and to like watch people and see what people are doing, but we're also mainly here for entertainment and a good time, you know, so why not? Okay, 45 people felt it smelled like Zozo by Milton Lloyd. Milton, yeah. Zozo by Milton Lloyd. Zozo. Zozo, she's so popular. Doot, 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 doot. Everybody loves Zozo. Doot, 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 doot. Okay. 38 people felt it smelled like Lumiere Blanche by Gres. Lumiere Blanche by Gres. I'd love to try that. Anything by Gres is interesting to me. 31 people. Oops, wait a minute. 31 people felt it was like Extraordinary by Rocco Barocco. 31 people felt it was like Extraordinary by Rocco Barocco. Hey, if you know any of these fragrances and you know what they smell like, go ahead and leave a comment below. And 27 people felt it was like Giordani Gold from Oriflame. Giordani Gold from Oriflame. So If you're familiar with any of those, and you're familiar with Giorgio, and if you know that they do or don't smell like it, please leave a comment. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like it. But engagement, you know, it helps. It helps. It helps the algorithm. It helps the algorithm. It helps. It helps. It helps the algorithm. If you want to. If you don't, it's still fine. I appreciate you being here at all. So thank you. Thank you. I said thank you. So I think that's about it. I know my videos are usually kind of long, and I'm trying to pull back on them being so long. When they're so long, people say so long. Anyways, so what I want to tell you about Giorgio, if you've never tried it, you should. It's a classic, it's iconic in the same way that Chanel No. 5 is. Though Chanel No. 5 is different, of course. Chanel fragrance is not this is different. But this was the fragrance of kind of an era, really. And doesn't that make you curious? It's history. It's part of history. So anyhow, for many people, this time was carefree. I was young. I started working in fragrance and cosmetics when I was 19, and I quit when I was like 27, I think. So this fragrance was around in my early young woman days. And so you know how that is. It was a fun time for me. So anyhow, thank you again for watching. I hope you come see me again. Giorgio. Giorgio, Giorgio. Giorgio, Giorgio. Yeah, baby. Come smell this Giorgio. Come smell this Giorgio. Come smell this Giorgio.